Oh, hi. Yes, welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, yeah, don't mind me. It's just getting a quick little break. Yeah, it's been a little chaotic here at the beginning of the school year, as to be expected, but chaotic in a good way, let's say. I'm so glad that we could meet. That's right. Perfect. So I'm so happy that you could come in and make the time. Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's something that I like to do just to kind of get started with the school year and kind of make sure that, me and the, parent or guardian of my students are all kind of on the same page about what we're going to be learning this year, what the expectations are, things like that. Yeah. Are you guys first timers in kindergarten? I mean, I'm sure you guys probably went to kindergarten, but you know what I mean. Is it your first time having a student here? Okay, okay. Well, I mean, good news. Your student's in my class, and I couldn't be more excited to teach them this year. I think it's incredibly rewarding to get to work with, young minds and kind of really get to see how they grow and experience everything throughout the year. It really is beautiful. And I mean, I do usually cry at the end of the year because I'm able to see how much they've grown and get ready for first grade, and they're always so excited. So a little bit about me. Yes, we'll get to that. Uh, a lot of the students do call me Miss Cupcake. That's because my last name is actually a little tricky for kids. So they do their best, but if they really need to get my attention, they can, raise their hand and say teacher, or they know that they can also say Miss Cupcake, and I will answer. Yeah, I try to keep it as fun as I can. I mean, they're all 4 and 5, pretty young. So, I mean, I'm not going to hold them to, pronounce my name correctly. Like, it's nice if they can get it. Usually by the end of the year, they can. But within these first few weeks, it's Miss Cupcake is a little easier. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let me take some notes here. So I've actually got my transcriber system pulled up. Now, is it okay if I use an electronic transcription service? Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's just easier for me than trying to remember what everyone said and write it out. Like, I do usually have to do some corrections as far as what it heard versus what people actually said. Honestly, for it being used in schools, it's not so great with the there, and there. I know, you'd think it would be better. Okay, perfect. So I've got you pulled up here. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, perfect, perfect. Now, I did already tell you a little bit about myself, but I will say that I have been a kindergarten teacher for 10 years. Yeah, this is my 10th year, and I'm so excited every year, but 10 years feels extra special. So I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been at this school in particular for 3, and I love it. I feel like this is probably my forever school for as long as they'll have me. So I'm looking forward to that. Before this, I obviously went to college for early childhood education. I have my degree and everything. But yeah, I've actually lived kind of in the area my whole life, so I'm pretty familiar with the territory. Yeah, like I understand the places that, kids talk about going on the weekends and stuff like that. I've been there too, generally with my kids. Yeah. I actually have 2 children of my own. They're a little older though, so I know. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. Now, about you guys, can you tell me a little bit about the go home plan for your student? Are they riding the bus? Are you picking them up, walking, a little bit of each? Okay, perfect. Yeah, there's actually paperwork that you can fill out for that that they provide in the attendance office. Yeah, pretty exciting. Not really, but it's pretty fun. So there's that for the go home plan. And then also, I did want to let you know that our school actually has free breakfast and lunch and snack. Were you aware of that? Okay, yeah, and it's for all income levels. It doesn't matter your income or anything like that. There will be paperwork to have you fill out. I believe they usually send it the first or second week of October. They send out like a packet of information and then you fill it out and it essentially gets reported, I guess. I don't know all the ins and outs about it. It's something our attendance office can help with if you have any questions. I just like to make people aware because sometimes, we don't always have time to get the kids breakfast in the morning and things like that. So it's nice to know that no matter how they get to school, they'll be fed here. Yeah, I think it's really important. So we've got that covered. And then, okay, and you know about the attendance schedule and all that, what time school starts. Yeah, perfect. I mean, we're doing this after the year's already started, so I hope you know. But, sometimes it's easy to lose track. Okay, so we've gone over those things. Now, let me ask you, so what would you say that your child's greatest strength is at home? Yeah, like are they a good helper, a good problem solver? Do they, help with pets? Do they help with cooking? Are they, you know, into math already? What would you say their greatest strength is? Okay, that's lovely. Yeah, I think that'll be really useful when it comes to kindergarten. Okay, so let's see here. Perfect. Now, when you're at home, do they have anything that they struggle with? For instance, do they get, frustrated when trying to put their shoes on, or do they struggle with socks? Are there any kind of frustrations that they run into? Yeah, you know, at that age, that's pretty common. Yeah, pretty common. Yeah, that is one that I do hear frequently as well. Yeah, so they're in good company. Now, when they do get frustrated at home, is there, let's see, when they get frustrated at home, is there anything that you do to sort of calm them down? Like, do they have a special blanket or a pillow that they snuggle? Or, like, is there a phrase that you use? Okay. Yep. I think that's incredibly important. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, kindergartners are especially at an age where, they sometimes need those reminders that they can use their words, they can express themselves. Exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Forgive me. It's been a long day. I'm so thirsty. Yeah. Okay. So Talked about strengths, struggles, what you do. Okay, now as far as when you're at home, do they have any like special interests? Are they interested in painting? Are they interested in running? Stuff like that. Okay. We have another one of the littles who's actually pretty into that too. Yeah. Yeah, we actually have another little who's into that. So that's so fun. Yeah, hopefully they'll become wonderful friends. All right, 1 minute. Let me note this down. Okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's wonderful. I've had, a few days to meet the class and things like that. And it really seems to be just a group of friendly friends this year. Some years, you can tell that it's going to be a little tougher. Maybe people aren't really going to see eye to eye on everything. But I really do feel like this year there's going to be some friendships made that'll last a lifetime. Yeah. I think it's all due to the kids that we have this year. They're really learning a lot of great things from their parents and guardians and the village that it takes. Yeah, I think you're doing great. Yeah, keep up the good work. Exactly. Okay, so now, all right, we've talked about their interests. Okay, now, do you have any goals for your student this year? So, do you have anything that you really want them to be able to accomplish by the end of this year? That's a good one. Yeah, I will note that we will be working on, of course, the ABCs, making sure that they can read them, pick them out of a lineup. We will also be working on sight words. Are you familiar with those? Yeah. Yep. It's honestly just like it sounds. It's words that they can recognize essentially on sight. Yeah, exactly. It's really important for them to have that. But if they don't have all of their sight words by the end of the year, that's okay. That's totally fine. It's something that we continue to work through in first grade as well. Yeah. We will also be working on making sure all of the children can count to 100 on their own. That's pretty exciting. Yeah, we do. It feels bad to say tests, but we do tests for that every week. We have our counting time to where they'll go like to the back of the room with like a teacher's assistant and count for them. So that way it's not, like in front of the whole class and things like that. It's kind of on a solo basis. Yeah, and then while that's happening, the rest of the class is usually working on something that's not related to counting, just because we don't want to give any kid, an advantage or anything like that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we'll work on those things. We do work on some of the fine motor skills as far as, holding a pencil, holding crayons, things like that. I will say the writing skills, they definitely do come with time. You'll probably see more of an increase in that when you'll see more of an increase in that in first grade, I'd say. Yeah, like I think a healthy goal is wanting to see, the kids in the class be able to write their own name, recognize their own name, things like that. Yeah, some of the kids are already there. They can recognize their own name from seeing it at home or seeing it at daycare. Yeah, things like that. For sure. Okay, so another thing that we will work on is every student in our class will have a job. I know it's not paid or anything, but they will have a job. Anything from being a line leader to the person in charge of, the lights when we need to turn them down using the projector, to the person who helps get, everyone's lunch bags if they have one, stuff like that. So every kid will have a job, and that starts next week. So exactly. So I'm sure that when your child has a job, they will come home and be so excited about it. It's nice to kind of teach kids about leadership early. It helps them be a little more self-sufficient and things like that. And you're welcome to have them continue that job at home as well. Like if you want them to be in charge of turning off the lights at bedtime or whatever you'd like. I mean, it's one of those things that we do see the benefit both in and out of class for that. Yeah, so every kid has a job, every kid will have a goal that they set that they're working towards. So, for instance, some of the goals that we've seen is, someone wanted to be able to paint a horse. All right. Someone wanted to be able to count to 25. And sometimes kids just want to memorize different colors, which is also fun. They want to be able to identify 20 different colors. Like it really is kind of up to them. We do our best to make sure that the things that they want to do are in line with things they can do. We don't want to limit them by saying, oh, that's not something you can't do. But we might say, hey, have you thought about maybe this? Or what if we started with this part working up to? Exactly. That way it's still encouraging. Exactly. We try to do that as much as we can, and we try to use positive positioning as much as we can, because really every kid is different and every kid has their own things that they're great at and their own things that they struggle with. So that's why we like to make sure that you come in, you meet with us, we can be on the same team as far as education goes. Yeah, exactly. So if you ever need me, you can reach me through the app. Yep, perfect. You got all set up there. Awesome. So if you ever need me, you can always reach out to me there. We do have some in-service time on Mondays. So that is typically when I'm most able to respond. If there's ever a day that, say for instance, you wake up a little late, you're having a rough time, your child's kind of struggling with the morning, you can always send me a notice that just says be gentle. And I'll know that that means that you guys are having a rough day and to maybe, ease up a little bit, make sure that, they're seen, they're heard, they're feeling valued. Because sometimes those rough days can be even more rough when you're at school. Exactly. Yeah, so never be afraid to reach out. I'm always around. I'm always checking my notifications. And yes, I do my best to prioritize those to be able to get back to you. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and then as far as the rest of everything, let me see. We do have some field trips this year. We'll be doing a pumpkin patch field trip. I believe we have a field trip. Usually we go to the science museum, but that's usually more in the spring. Yeah, so any of that will actually send the announcements through the app. And then also, you're welcome to sign up for the PTA. You can volunteer here. We always need more hands on deck when it comes to our to our like small group time as far as the like math and reading and stuff like that. We always need additional hands. If you've got the time, definitely reach out. If you did want to set up a consistent volunteer schedule, that is something that we would do a background check and just make sure that we have your information on file. Yeah, it really doesn't take very long. It's just a like quick background check as far as, yeah, exactly. It's really just for safety. And then also for safety, we do ask that if you are bringing your child in after the attendance bell has already rung and the kids are already going to class, you will need to show ID upon entry. We do not open the door for anyone who will not show us ID, whether they have a child with them or not. We will not let them in. It's only just for safety purposes. Right. Yeah. Pretty understandable, sadly. So we've gone over attendance, things like that. Oh, if your child is sick, what is the best phone number to use? So, for instance, if they're sick, it should be something that we have on file at the office. But yeah, which number is it? Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay, that's the one I have here. I mean, hopefully we'll never need it. But okay. Now, the other thing that I do want to ask, and this is a little bit of a sensitive topic, if your child were to be hurt out on the playground, or if someone were mean to them, or, whether they were hurt physically or emotionally by another student, is that something you think they would tell a teacher or something they would only come to you about? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is a little hard to say. They are, they are 5-year-olds after all. Yeah, sometimes their mind kind of changes like the wind, right? Okay, perfect. So we've got that all set. All right, I think I've taken up about enough of your time, but if you have any questions for me, please do not hesitate to reach out. I'm more than happy to, help you through this and all that good stuff. Yeah, super happy. Of course. And yeah, I think it's going to be a wonderful school year. I look forward to seeing you. We will have another opportunity for conferences again closer to the winter time, closer to like winter break, to kind of talk more about how your child's doing, if there are any concerns for you or me or them. But yeah, as for now, this was really just kind of a meet and greet, get to know you, let you know that you're doing great, your kid's doing great, everything's great. So if you have anything, again, do not hesitate. Please reach out. Happy to help. Yeah. Until then, I will see you out. Okay. Let me get you.